Just another day in paradise. I'm, of course, not in paradise, but somebody is, and I'm sure they're enjoying it. What kind of fuckery is this? So here we are. Trying to get that Sunday motivation, which is about that much right now. Anyways, working on this thing. So I got the motor clearly in the car. Trying to sort out how I want to actually do the motor mounts. Now, I did have side mounts that I could use, and I have these brackets here which mount about like that. And I could put a little, get the tab down there, but that creates problems with my steering over here, so I'd have to wiggle the steering around, which is not a big deal, but more work than necessary. I have my vintage 1970s Hurst motor plate, which I thought was going to work, but it actually sits up, I think, too high. I don't care for the way it sits personally. Then, for some reason, this is like an old school, well, I'd say probably a 90s version Mustang 2 crossmember, which is actually quite nice, but it's mounted actually rather high up in the frame. So I have to have the engine up high enough that the oil pan is, higher than the crossmember. Otherwise, just like my truck, it'll grind the bottom of it off, which is just never a good thing. So I'm thinking maybe, even though I don't want to do it, make a whole new motor plate altogether that would maybe come down and put these pads on top of there or off the side here. possibly. And actually thinking about it, when I built my 36 10 years ago, I made a motor plate that was like that. I might actually have that drawing still. I'll have to dig around and see. Otherwise, I have to draw a new one and make it. Not a big deal. Everything's doable, but you figure out a way to get this motor secure. Let's go ahead and lift her on up. So this car needs a name. Think of a cool name for it. I haven't come up with anything yet, but let's lift this baby up here, climb on under. So under here, which yes, I know there's a lot of surface rust, but actually frame rail has no rot or any problems like that. It's actually quite solid. It's just the car came from Michigan, and everything's pretty much crap up there. So I torched out the center cross member, which I'll cut those rivets off and clean that up. I don't have any cut off wheels currently. So I need to make a plate that mounts off these bolts here, and we'll pick up that transmission mount. And again, I think I have a drawing for that, so to the computer or to the Batcave, whatever. But my Florida transmission clearance is good. I like that. It's going to be just fine. Well, that ain't good. Oh. Well, that's hindering progress. Yeah, the backup battery's been dead in the computer for, I don't know, about 10 years. I just haven't got around to changing it. You know how it is. Come on, mama. All right. Disco. All right, file. Import drawing. So these are all the parts I've made over the years. 36 mount. No idea what the hell that's for. But apparently I needed one at some point. Okay, oh no. Let's see. Oh, that's a license plate mount that mounts to the stock 3 holes for the spare tire on a 36 Ford Coupe. Just in case you were wondering. So that is the trans mount I made for my 40 Coupe. You can see it ties the outer frame rails together. Maybe I'll modify this a little bit to fit this application. I think it'll work just fine. But I've got stuff in here for the last 10 years, 35s, 40s, 59s, caddies. I've never actually deleted a single file of anything I've ever cut. All kinds of just different air rides for everything. Signs. There's a lot of stuff there. Yeah, I think I'll just draw a new one. Sometimes it's just easier. So it's just a matter of mapping it out. So it's really just a matter of measuring all my key points, which would be my motor mounts here, and these rivets here that I'm going to use, and I'm going to add one more hole up here. So measure across my motor mount opening. Then I can add reference points. And then it's just a matter of measuring all the points, putting it all together. It's actually pretty simple. All right, so I know my basic layout. It's my motor mount. And then I'm going to have bolts parallel to that. And then 1, 2, 3 for the rivets that are there. Something like that, so it'll be roughly shaped. Like that. So I just need to measure the distance between, for instance, these holes, and the distance between these holes, and then these holes to these holes, and so forth, and then all map out using just a simple center line. Or I can make it out of cardboard. Starting with first measurement, the easy one, which is my motor mount bolts, which are let's see, that is going to be, the sun wasn't shining directly on me, it'd be awesome. See, it's 1.5. Using my straight edge, run across the bolts there. This is roughly anyway, because the computer will line everything up. So then I measure these holes, which are, utilizing the metric system, however the hell that works. That is 32.5. The fact that we have two forms of measurement here in the US is just idiotic. 6.85. 8.3. The fact that we have two forms of measurement here in the US is painful. If you Canadians come to join our team, please bring the metric system like the rest of the world. It'd be great. And this will kind of wing a little bit. I mean, I could be a lot more precise if I really had to, but I don't have to. And I'm not going to. So then, we've got these measurements here. So, all right, now I'll go plug this in the computer and we'll be ready to cut. Well, we'll be ready to cut tomorrow because it's getting late and I'm hungry. And I didn't find the motor plate that I drew before, so I don't know. That drawing's lost, I guess. So I just have to make a new one. If that's what I choose to do, I'm still a little iffy on the what I want to do yet. So we'll work it out. So I had a bit of an epiphany on my motor mount. I'm not going to use the front mount. I don't like it. So I decided that I was going to use the side mounts, but I'm going to do it similar to how I did on my 40 Coupe, where I actually worked around the steering, because actually it's the exact same setup as my Coupe. Actually, in fact, exact same setup essentially as my truck. So I'm just going to copy that with what I did before. So with the latest technological advancements in CAD board, we're going to draw a new one. So this is my cobbled together piece that I was, kind of, cut and paste, just like kindergarten. So transfer this to that, transfer this to metal, and metal to the car, and bada bing done. It's arts and crafts anybody can do. It'll be something roughly like that. It'll change a little bit when I get into CAD. So let me cut this out and we'll trial fit it to the car. We'll see what happens. So it'll end up looking something like that. Ta-da! So, hang on. Stupid cardboard. Stupid left hand. It's gonna go like that. And that's gonna work just perfect. It'll clear the steering, it'll be plenty robust. It'll be easy to match both sides. Definitely gonna work better than the motor plates, so I like that. These mounts here are just some generic mounts that are actually set up for a G-body. Pulled them off of that guy. So I'll button this up, go in the house, and you know, draw. Plus, currently the wife is obsessed with baking bread. Now, the woman has never baked a thing in her life. I mean, she's a fabulous cook, but she doesn't bake nothing. But she's been obsessed with making sourdough bread. And currently, there's a nice warm loaf in there just waiting for me. And really, that's, you know, it's a little more entertaining than sitting out here and talking to you guys. So I'm just gonna go into the house, have some bread, take a little nap, and then we're gonna draw this, you know. Well, hello, gorgeous. Ah, look, your twin. The dawn of a new day. Modern technology, can't go wrong. Yeah, every time I turn this thing on, it costs me 15 bucks. These little guys. Get that out of the way. Nice for somebody to clean the shop occasionally. One of them guys, one of them guys. Alright, do a little dry run, make sure it's going to work. Make a slight adjustment. If metal wasn't so damned expensive, I would just get a whole new sheet, but no, you gotta save the scraps. Sometimes they come in handy, but it takes extra work. Put that baby. Alrighty. Set that baby for kick-ass. Now let's punch the go button. And start. That's one. All right, number two. That ain't half bad. Now onto the motor plate. You know, with a new tip in there and actually spending some time to actually set this thing up, it does cook pretty good. Usually I'm kind of lazy, honestly, but that looks pretty good. Just like that. That's perfect. It's gonna have to work. All right, it's gonna be outside offset, outside, go. So it's important to program this to do all the inside cuts first and then do the outside cut. Because if you put it in the wrong direction, then your part just falls out and then it screws everything up. So, trial and error. Little dry run and we're ready to go. All right, time to do it for real. Flip that baby on. All right. Making parts. And hold your breath. Boom. Boom. And ta-da! All right, let's get to work. First by opening the door and all right. Got the death cloud in here. I'm sure the neighbors don't mind. Alrighty, let's give it a whirl. Oh. Well, shit. I forgot one key part. The extra holes I was going to add. Damn. Oh well, back to the drawing board. Something doesn't look right. I missed these holes, which means I missed from here to here. Well, I am my own worst enemy, as always. All right, back to the drawing board. Let's go. That one's gonna work. I had to make it a little bit smaller because I ran out of metal, but this is gonna work just fine. At least, hopefully, when I try it, it's gonna work just fine. Yes, that's gonna work. So now to get those rivets out and not drop that on my foot, and we'll be good to go. Get Ryan to come over here and paint all this stuff. It's pretty crusty. It's actually solid, it's just surface rust. Only 8 more to go. Guess that's good enough for today. It's, as they say, Miller time. Alright. Ooh, it's getting downright chilly out here. I definitely like winter more than summer. But I don't like being cold. Maybe I just complain a lot, I don't know. That'll work. Alrighty. That'll have to wait till it cools off, but that's the spacer for the transmission mount, so we're good. But ready to let Ryan come by and paint the rest of this stuff up, and we can move on to something new, like the floor. That will work. Alrighty, with the motor and trans dialed in, I still got to yank it back out so we can paint, but that's going to be tomorrow's project. Today I'm going to work on the mounting the steering column over here. Oh, we ordered new A-arms too, by the way, so in case you were concerned. So I need to work on putting in the swinging brake pedal and the steering column there. Yes, I'll do the floor next. But I want to get some of the pieces in place so I can work around it, you know, that way we can get it it's fine, all dialed in. Then we'll move on to the back area. So a chunk and a chunk and a chunk. Oh, and a gas tank. And I'd like to have that done by Monday. It's only 7 days from now. Wishful thinking, because then I have to go to Oklahoma. Suicide doors. These don't open very far. I mean, really, how far is it got to open, I guess, but that'll work just fine. Actually, I don't know what kind of kit it is, but it seems to be well done. Seems to be stout. Drag that ugly GM steering column out here. I don't know what the history of the car was. Looks like somebody started some time ago, then lost interest. Well, probably died, because that's generally what happens. But sat outside for a while, so it's actually got some good parts. It's just everything's crusty. So that is the crusty beast that was in there. I'm gonna imagine that that is it's definitely GM. But probably, oh, I don't know, mid-60s, early 70s, I'm guessing. So it is going to go in the scrap bin, because we have another one. And I don't know what this even is, so let's open it up and find out. Don't fall. I really need the third arm. It's a arm, camera. Okay. So that looks like an eBay special. So hopefully it works. Same one I have in my Cadillac. Alrighty. Alright. Gives me something to work with anyway. So this is much nicer than that. Yeah, and you got a super cool steering wheel to go with it too, so I got to get that and mount it up as well. So getting there. Power booster. All right, let's check this out. So it has got to go. Yeah, don't tell Ryan. I'll you a whole lot of things. I'm grabbing a basketball. So that has to fit. That is 100% in my way. Alrighty. That has to go here. About like that. And we have to clear that breather guy, so. La 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 la. Alrighty. So that guy's gonna go there. I have this plate here that I actually cut out for the Cadillac that I screwed up, but I kept because I'm a weird hoarder and I can't throw anything away. However, it's going to work out this time. So I just need to clean this up, and that will reinforce the firewall, which we are going to definitely need here. So I'll drill all those holes, get that mounted. And then this will go on the inside, and we'll mount the swinging pedal to that. I got dirt on my face? What is that? Unprofessional. Alrighty. So You there? You there? You come to help? What are you doing? Where's your puppy dog? Time for snacks? Huh? Snack time? All right. Let's go get a snack. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on. I'm not sure what language she speaks, but she definitely knows the word snack. So do I. All right, snacks have been administered. Back to work. No, only one, bro. Only one. God, I gotta clean my yard up. This is getting ridiculous. Alrighty. Where can it be? No, not even gonna work. Gotta use you. That's gonna work just fine. Put you right there. Alright, put you right there. Alrighty. Oh yeah, that'll help. All right, that'll work better. I'm gonna clean that baby up and start drilling some holes. Stay. Check my mail. Well, actually, my daughter checked my mail. But I got my new t-shirts. Well, these are at least tests. Hopefully they work. I like that. You know, I've had a couple different artists that I worked with to draw stuff, but they're such big flakes that it's been horrible. Turns out my daughter, who lives in the room next door to mine, apparently can draw. So she drew these. Which I do like. That's the front. That's the back. I do like these. These are my favorites so far. I really do t-shirts really just so I have something for myself to wear, but some of you guys like to buy them, and I really appreciate that. Not that I make any money on them, but still, you know. Anyways, back to work.